Good evening, everyone. Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David Sponheim, and today is Freedom Friday. We are dealing with a lot of reversals on Trump's part. He's now offering a deal to Mexico if they buy a huge amount of agricultural products from America, which probably means pesticides, because you know the pesticide lobby works Trump pretty hard. You got to wonder what Mexico's going to do now. Are they going to cater to Trump and buy more agricultural products just to keep in good favor and not have tariffs imposed? So he's already flip-flopped on that issue now. Apparently when he makes statements, he doesn't even mean them. So we have to assume that he doesn't even understand what he's saying when he says things. That's a very bad sign for a president. It sets a precedent for the president to be a complete incompetent idiot. That means that we're okay with the fact that Trump doesn't really know what he's doing, that we, the American people, are accepting of that. But what's really scary is he does know what he's doing. In some areas, he's catering to some of the most dangerous people in the world and giving them everything we've got. Check this out. New York Times. Trump allows high-tech U.S. bomb parts to be built in Saudi Arabia. Can you believe this? And then he recently has sent nuclear-tipped rockets and missiles over there, allegedly nuclear in nature and violating Congress's wishes of not selling any military armaments to Saudi Arabia. So he's doing everything that Saudi Arabia wants, and ironically, Saudi Arabia is bosom buddies with Vladimir Putin. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, especially the new Crown Prince, MBS. So very strange things are happening right now that just don't make a lot of sense about Trump. He seems to be catering to everything Vladimir Putin wants, and we're not really benefiting from this in a big way. Of course, a couple $1 billion in sales, here and there, certainly helps our military, but it doesn't help our people in America. See, that's the sad fact, is that Trump represents the military-industrial complex in the deep state, and they want more money for weapons of mass destruction to kill people. And we, the American people, if you want to be ethical, you can't possibly continue to vote Republican or Democrat. They both support the military-industrial complex. I've got a senator in my area, Patty Murray, who authorized 50 jets to fly over my house and somehow made that bid go through when it wasn't going to go through at all. The entire bid that Boeing got for all these planes was reversed in one night. It went from losing the plane orders on all 6 points of contention to winning them on all 6 points of contention in one night, which is very, very suspicious. So I'm living underneath the jets that Boeing is making that may or may not be safe, that have weapons of mass destruction on them. And I'm just a little sick and tired of the Democrats ratifying this military buildup just like the Republicans. I'd rather see much more effective stealth and disposable unmanned vehicles than we have now with the big buckets of junk that are flying in the sky burning fuel. I would much rather have a very agile drone missile defense system that could easily defend our country much better than these types of weapons that have a big startup just to get them up in the air. It takes a couple minutes just to fire up the engines in about 15. Look at how long it took 9/11 to respond. Jets didn't even scramble in time to defend the World Trade Center in 2001. Isn't that amazing? 35 minutes, not one jet stopped the other jets from allegedly hitting the buildings and taking them down, allegedly. So we clearly don't need these antiquated weapons. We need much more modern, affordable, cost-effective weapons to defend ourselves, not to be offensive. All right, so we've got a couple things happening in the news tonight. Trump says there's a good chance that Mexico can avert tariffs with a deal that includes purchase of U.S. farm goods. I just talked about that. I just really think he's out to lunch. He doesn't know what he's doing when he starts saying these things, and it sends shockwaves through markets when he says these things without knowing what he's doing, and now he reels from that, showing his incompetence, whether Mexico buys that product or not, whatever it is. And this man is in the news again. George Nader's phones had child porn on them and communications with the Crown Prince, feds say. And he was a guy who was instrumental in helping Mueller find out Trump's relationship with Saudi Arabia. But I still don't think Trump Trump's relationship with Saudi Arabia has been revealed completely, because I do know that Vladimir Putin is in the mix. So you got to understand that this man may be targeted for some reason. He may know too much. Maybe they're just installing porn on his phone. I don't know. But that's one way to get a guy pulled out of the dialogue. We've got a lot of people who don't vote, Spitfire. 45% of our population doesn't vote at all and refuses to even, register. So if we could just get the 45% of the people that don't vote to register, we could beat the Democrat and Republican Party. We really could. If all the people that don't vote just voted for America's Third Party and wrote my name in, we could beat the Democrat and Republican Party. Well, the fact is, the Third Party is going to be growing. To start with 8%, it's been up to 20% here in America when Ross Perot ran. But we're playing by different rules now. They're shutting down the internet and all media access and all mainstream media access and awareness of anything third party. They've been systematically censoring me for 10 years, 10 years. I'm going to say 8 to 9 years that I know of. Okay. Well, the ideas are relevant. The ideas are viral. The fact that we have ways in which we can help the country rebound that other people don't have really is enough to get this message viral. I've got a solar rooftop revolution that'll lead to jobs and people with home-based businesses that they hire their family or friends and make $20 an hour installing solar panels. And the government will foot the bill initially. Making houses better. We've got a lot of houses that need to be looking like this. And the Homestead Renewal Plan offers just that, $15 an hour right out of the chute across the nation in every city that starts this. I voted Democrat for 30 years. I broke away from it about, 10 years ago when I started this effort. But even in the last election, I voted Democrat just to get the impeachment hearing going. And now we're seeing Nancy Pelosi try to put it to rest, end it. Nancy Pelosi is blocking Representative Gerald Nadler's request. The chairman of the Judiciary Review of Donald Trump is requesting to start the impeachment process. And Nancy's saying, no, I just want to put Donald in prison. Okay, wait a second. You don't want to impeach him, but you want to put him in prison? So Nancy's so confused, the Democrats should never have put her in the speaker position because she doesn't know what she's doing either. So we need new ideas. We need a fresh approach. And I definitely think the Democrats need the impeachment in order to declare their position. All the people that voted for the Democrats in the midterm, like myself, really want the Democrats to step up and do something. They won't be relevant unless they make themselves relevant right now. And they're missing a very big opportunity to just lay it all on the line, because there's more than enough evidence to convince a jury, by expert opinions of numerous prosecutors, a jury could be convinced of Donald Trump's guilt. If he wasn't president, he would be facing huge felony charges right now. And that's not my opinion. That's the opinion of hundreds of prosecuting attorneys. So all kinds of misdeeds have been done by Trump and his cronies, working with Russia, conspiring to continue this process. And now we're seeing him make sales to Saudi Arabia without congressional approval. It looks like Putin put him up to doing that too. Thank you, Joe's mama. Well, this has been an ongoing effort that without ending. And I've done this for free for the past 10 years. I haven't made a penny on this. Thanks for telling me. The bottom line is, America is still being censored heavily, just like North Korea. But the word around the world among people who are still spreading the word about this third party trying to form is helping pry open this censorship. When critical mass will be reached, I don't know. But I do believe it'll come down to they will either choose me to step into the media and be who I am and what I will do, or they will continue to squander this opportunity to have me and my youth to help this country by supporting the corrupt two-party system and watch it fall apart. As it falls apart, they'll begin to realize the only way to assemble it is with a new voice and a new vision for America, and that's what I offer. So I think we still are in a good clutch position to be the go-to people for a centrist party. coming up in 2020. But again, no media coverage really is a huge deficit. Huge deficit. Now, I agree with some of the things Trump says, obviously, because he stole a lot of ideas from me. I mean, the 1,000-mile fence idea I had since 2008, he stole that and acted like it was his idea, called it a wall. But I'm in agreement with Donald Trump. He just made a statement saying he's not going to actually allow the LGBTQ banner to fly with the flag. I absolutely support the decision. I think that was great. This is his decision. As you know, I'm not catering to the LGBT community. That's what makes us separate from the Democratic Party. But I don't want to prosecute people who are homosexuals for any reason whatsoever, unless, of course, they're committing acts of molestation and rape. We want people to be not discriminated against for government jobs. But I'm not going to tell a mom and pop business that they have to hire a quota of transgenders. The Democrats would do that. I'm not going to do that. I won't affect the individual businesses in America with any type of anti-discrimination legislation. Well, I have a plan to pass a moratorium against any city in America outlawing living in your car. This would override the rule that Eric Garcetti put forth in Los Angeles, where people are unable to live in their car in LA now. They have to get a pup tent, which is absurd. The safest place for them to live is in their car. Yeah, I do agree, Kevin, that the government is pushing a fake alien agenda. Bill Cooper, the famous conspiracy theorist who some people believe was killed because of his information, he predicted 9/11 before it happened. Bill Cooper said that the government has an alien agenda where they're going to spring it on us and show images of aliens in the background. That's entirely possible. They have Operation Bluebeam, which gives them the ability to project giant alien beings in the sky. Yeah. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people that'll believe anything. There are people that believe the earth is flat. If they saw an alien being hovering in the sky, they'd probably think it was Jesus. Seriously, they can project images of alien beings in the sky now. This is not make-believe stuff. This is blue beam technology. So don't think for a second they aren't ready to pull that one just as a diversion. Okay, great. You're having a legal keg party? Okay. Yeah, projected giant alien beings in the sky. There have been pictures of these things. I've seen pictures over China of alien beings formed out of clouds. Yeah, but I've yet to see a real alien. And the agenda of the government to do that it's very simple, really. You know who's the real big promoter of the alien agenda? The Podestas. Isn't that interesting? John Podesta and his brother Tony. Yeah. Well, when you think about it, I mean, if kids are being abducted by somebody, and there are allegations the Podestas have been abducting kids, allegations, it's interesting that they would, align with the belief that aliens could abduct children too. That kind of fits right into their cover story. Well, all the aliens have been taken. The children have been taken by the aliens. That's one explanation. We have 55,000 kids missing a year in America. I don't believe in the fake alien invasion at all. Well, if Bill Cooper was like a complete liar, and he said he saw UFOs, yeah, you can see UFOs and still believe in the alien agenda. His shotting was faked, really. I don't know, man. Bill Cooper was a man who exposed this. The more expert guy on the subject of aliens was Phil Schneider, and Phil Schneider had a series of communications with people all around the country, and he videotaped it about his personal experience with an alien force at Area 51. Now that's about as close to being a real eyewitness account as anyone has ever had. And luckily we have his actual communication. Phil Schneider. Yeah, he lost his fingers to the aliens. Here's a clip of Phil Schneider as he's talking about what happened to him. His father worked with Wernher von Braun. So there are a lot of things that, many people don't realize may be true and maybe not.
One of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. And burnt.
Okay, that was one video.
Going on since that time. Since late August of 1979, our military, the Russian military, basically the militaries of the world, have been in constant conflict with the outer space alien.
Okay, so, it's hard to believe that this is his testimony, but he died a weird occurrence. They found him with a rubber band around his neck. And he was fighting for his beliefs till the day he died. So he dedicated his life to telling people about alien invasions. He claimed there was an alien war in Area 51 between U.S. troops and aliens in 1977. And he'd witnessed it. And that's how he lost his fingers. And he even showed he had a scar down his middle. It was like he got hit by a blue beam, he said. You think Snyder's full of crap? Yeah. I don't know. Even Stephen Greer, his statement about that supposed alien thing that they had. Stephen Greer had a picture of an alien. They had a DNA testing done on it. It proved to be human. And Stephen Greer is the SETI project, SETI project. His proposal was that this little thing was an actual alien, and it was tested. Yeah. Unfortunately, this little thing also appeared in Wrigley's Believe It or Not in the 1957 as a shrunken human. Yeah, and I think that alone debunks it, but it did have human DNA. So back in the 1950s, everyone was obsessed with shrunken heads. And I don't know if you've ever seen shrunken heads. They have them over at the Museum of Natural History in Smithsonian. They have a bunch of mummies over there too, but there was a whole period of time when people shrunk bodies in vinegar. Yeah. And apparently they took a baby and shrunk the baby to make that creature. I know, kind of weird. But there is no real proof of aliens. I've seen UFOs myself, and I can tell you they're pretty amazing. I saw one recently with Sarah that was it was as big as a Safeco field, a blimp, and she claims it was smaller than that. So we had different impressions of how big it was. And it just disappeared like that. We looked away and we looked back, it was gone. So that's either one, incredibly fast. I've never seen a blimp move away fast like that, or it had video cloaking technology, which projected an image of what's behind it onto its outer surface. Very weird. I saw, when I was a kid, 1967, I saw about 50 discs in the sky, roughly, over Orange County, California. It was like June, right around June of 1967. I'm getting older now, I'm showing you my age. But yeah, I was 7 years old. I was born in 1960, and I saw at least 50 of these discs, and they got my goosebumps going, I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe my eyes. And they were moving in unison. They were like, not like moving around like this, they were like moving like an array. It's very strange. Turns out 200 other people saw the same sighting over Orange County, California, and have registered it at MUFON. So, very interesting. There's over 600,000 sightings of UFOs since 1950s. Less sightings recently than previous years. That's an interesting note too. We're seeing less and less of these UFOs. But the government's now saying they're ready to see any UFO and quantify it and look at it. So maybe the government is trying to open up on the issue. But I seriously don't think we're going to see any aliens land in front of us and reveal their reptile faces. Squids are aliens stranded on Earth? That's an interesting theory. When I first met Sarah, we were driving among these cows that were in an area she lived in Northern California. And she said, yeah, don't these cows look weird? Their eyes were like really big. And she said, they like seem like aliens trapped in cow bodies. It's weird. I mean, they were strange cows, I must say. But you never know. Are you aware of Tequala? Are you aware of what's happening with him? Yeah, I have not heard about what he's into, and I haven't even heard from him lately. So, okay, you got a bunch of whistleblowers over there? All right, I'll take a look at that link a little bit later. Thank you. Kevin? Yeah, I never really got to know Tequala too deeply. I met him in Chicago, but I never got to know him recently because he's been through a lot. And at one point, he was really disturbed. He was really unhappy, I should say. So I don't know where he's at now. You track him on his Twitter account? Or is that you with the new name, Huang Guang? I wouldn't put it past him. Give up your password or go to jail. Police push legal boundaries to get into cell phones. Whoa. So you got to give up your password right away if you have a cell phone. They're now routinely seeking access to people's cell phones. Privacy advocates are a dangerous erosion of American rights, with courts scrambling to keep up. Breaking news. Yeah. William Montanez is used to getting stopped by the police in Tampa, Florida for small-time traffic and marijuana violations. It happened more than a dozen times. When they pulled him over the last time, he didn't try to hide his pot, telling officers, yeah, I smoke it. There's a joint in the center console. You going to arrest me for that? They did arrest him, not only for the marijuana, but also for 2 small bottles they believe contained THC oil, a felony. For having a firearm while committing that felony, they found a handgun in the glove box. The things got testy. They confiscated his 2 phones. A text message popped up on a locked screen. Oh my God, did they find it? Question mark. The officers demanded his passcodes, warning him they did get warrants to search the cell phones. But Montanez suspected the police were trying to fish for evidence of illegal activity. He also didn't want them to seeing more personal things, including intimate pictures of his girlfriend. So he refused and was locked up on the drug and firearms charge. Bailed out of jail. Yeah, so apparently the courts are grappling with this issue now. Yeah. Show your password or go to jail. Okay, let's take a look. Bill Cooper and Jordan Maxwell. Let's compare their face. Somebody said that Bill Cooper may have faked his death and became Jordan Maxwell. That's the first time I've ever heard this story. Yeah. You're laughing at that? Well, Bill Cooper and Jordan Maxwell had a full interview.
Across America and around the world, once again you're listening to the Hour of the Time. I'm your host, William Cooper, for Swiss America Trading. Folks, there's one commodity in the world that you're going to have in the coming economic trauma in order to survive and protect what assets you've gained during your life. This is a world for...
Okay, yeah, this is an interview with the 2 of them talking together. So I don't think they have different voices. I don't think that he faked his death and became Jordan Maxwell. Sorry. Dave, you have disinformation people. You're becoming famous. What do you mean I have disinformation people? I know I'm famous, but what do you mean I have disinformation people? Nobody contacts me. I get no contacts from the government or corporations. All the information I share in the show comes from you guys and various credible stories and sometimes not credible stories. Okay, I'm going to go with the idea that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is alive. So let's go ahead and do a little search of our own. Justice Ginsburg hints at her ruling on upcoming census citizenship question. Yes, Trump has not prosecuted Ilhan Omar at all for having married her brother. That's strange, don't you think? That's why I contend Trump is deep state, because they use Omar as a scapegoat. A woman who's representing Muslims, they want her to stay in play. Okay, she spoke candidly at a meeting of judges and lawyers in the Second Circuit Just Court. Okay, this is her sitting on stage in December 15th, 2018, not talking to people candidly. Again, the photograph, there's no current photograph. Yeah, there's nothing. They just say she's talking to people. There is still no photograph. The most current photograph is from December of 2018. Yeah. I have not seen a single photograph of Ruth Bader Ginsburg alive in the past, 7 months, 8 months. I'm going to say 6 months. In 6 months, we haven't seen her. Wow. Okay, well, they claimed that she had a remarkable recovery from her lung cancer, but no one's seen a picture of her. That's very strange. Okay, the University of Alabama has spurned a $21.5 million donor who was critical of the Alabama abortion law. Some pro-choice guy was going to give the University of Alabama $21.5 million, and they said, no, we don't want your money. It's too important an issue to stand up for the unborn babies and their rights. Isn't that special? You know what happened to Wallace with the National Guard coming in and forcing him to open the college doors and allow blacks to attend? I would do the same thing with both the governor of Alabama and the governor of Mississippi when they attempt to stop a woman from having an abortion. I would bring the National Guard in. I'd federalize that state's National Guard, and then we move in that right away. And if they tried to stop the federalization of the National Guard, I'd have them arrested. These changes in state law are going against Roe v. Wade. And we're facing off with all kinds of potential Supreme Court battles, which will be fought among a mixed group of Republicans and Democrats if Ruth Bader Ginsburg is in fact alive. And most likely, since they stacked the courts in favor of the Republicans with Russia's help, it will probably go down the line as a split vote leaning toward pro-life. So it's very likely that what's happening in our country right now is a result of Russia in every way, including Russia ordering Donald Trump to stack the courts with, who knows, Russian sympathizers, alt-right people who support pro-life stories, and the whole idea is just pushing us to the envelope of breaking down as a country. Remember, Khrushchev told John F. Kennedy back in the 60s that we will destroy you from within, he said. Khrushchev was vicious. Our great president stood there and tried to have a normal conversation with a guy, and the guy was completely like a vicious animal. He treated the negotiations as though it was a joke. And our great president stood out there trying to put his best foot forward, and Khrushchev just crapped all over it. Yeah, don't forget, the Russian threat is very real. You Trump supporters must be ashamed of yourself, supporting him blindly, claiming everything that we bring up about Trump's involvement with Russia is just fake news. It's sickening how you people who support Trump are traitors to this nation, who are now bending over for Russia. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. I don't even know how you can wake up in the morning and call yourselves American. And then I get people who I know in my family who support Trump who said, Dave, why are they disrespecting Trump so much? Yeah. Well, let's just say he set himself up for disrespect. Oh, hey, Patoro. Hey. Hi. Yeah, we're in chat. you want to come in and join me over at Skype, I've got the Skype show running. The overthrow of the prince of Facebook. Okay. Apparently, Mark Zuckerberg is facing some problems. Big tech has become too powerful and abusive. We know enough about it to break up its dominance. It'll start with personal experience, he says, and he's going on. In spring of 2016, Facebook came under pressure, blah, blah, blah. Wall Street Journal, read the story. I can't. I'm sorry. Well, I hope they do something to break up Facebook, but I can't read those stories. Wall Street Journal's blocked to me. Melania News. Okay. Yeah, I hope they bust Facebook. I see it as a monopoly. I would love to see big, huge laws imposed upon Facebook, but unfortunately, yeah, nobody seems to understand how Facebook works in government. So they're saying Melania is disrespectful by wearing glasses on D-Day. Now, I'm sorry, that I don't believe that she's disrespectful for wearing glasses on D-Day. No, she just doesn't want to get wrinkles. Yeah, it's just ridiculous to think that that's... No, I'm sorry, that's not a very good story. Yeah, she's not being disrespectful. The fact that they even attended is fine. They live. Yeah, she's wearing the They Live glasses. She's probably watching a television show behind the glasses. They're big enough to have a television show. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't watch stories like that. They're Wall Street Journals and... Big story here that's very serious. YouTube is, coming down hard on people like our videos. I've had one of my videos taken down for simply showing a picture of a bloody scene from the Manchester bombing, alleged bombing. Now they're going after anybody who talks about Hitler. YouTube is deleting videos on Nazi history as part of its hate speech crackdown. So, in other words, YouTube doesn't want us to learn from the lesson of a despotic Zionist who took over and killed millions of ethnic minorities. They don't want kids to know about how this guy did this. So they just want to completely erase it so that no one will ever question anything and will be completely ignorant of the reality that it's happening again. Dump, da-dump, dump. Yeah. They've got more than enough FEMA camps to justify calling America a concentration camp. America has 804 FEMA camps, just like Germany had thousands of concentration camps. So yeah, they're ready to just repeat history, so they want to erase it. TSA now allowing migrants released from federal custody without proper papers. Yes. Trump is doing the exact same thing Obama did. This is exactly what I tried to forewarn people about when I talked about a 1,000-mile fence. Trump stole the idea and then never built the fence in the past 2 years. He just talks about it. Consequently, we have these immigrants that are pouring into our country, and now they're doing exactly what Obama did.
Here's a story that's going to have you scratching your head. Apparently, the TSA is allowing migrants who have been released from federal custody after crossing the border illegally to board flights without any identification. That's what a new report claims. The Washington Examiner says the agency is accepting notice to appear in court papers, even though that's not on their own list of acceptable ID. There's the ID right there. Here to react is former U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Transportation, Oliver McGee, who joins us today from down in Lubbock, Texas. Oliver, good morning to you.
Oliver? Well, good morning, Steve. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. Can you explain to me...
Is this guy, is he part of the clone group of Al Roker impersonators? I swear that guy looks like Al Roker. I mean, he has an infamous stare video where he is an MK Ultra victim, Al Roker. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Pretty intense.
I'm Savannah Guthrie, alongside Matt Lauer and Al Roker. Will someone do the junior high hug dance? It's like this. You gotta make it real awkward.
That's exactly how
You
he
have
did
to
it.
have a certain amount of distance between
Yes,
the bodies
exactly.
in junior high.
Yes, like they say in Catholic school, leave room for the Holy Ghost. Anyway, there is a lot of memories today, actually. It's a big day in music history.
35 years ago today, Elvis Presley passed away, the king of rock and roll. And as Mark Cohn says in his great song, Walking in Memphis, there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down.
Nobody can figure out why Al Roker went into a still pose there. He looks a little like him. I guess he doesn't, his nose is a little bit wider than Al Roker, but it does seem like the guy's a puppet.
Okay, so the TSA is taking these migrants to the airport, and what are they doing with them?
Essentially, what they're saying is if a person comes with a notice to appear in court, they're saying that's acceptable to board an airplane, and that is unacceptable for aviation safety and security. And so they're walking them around the checkpoint and directly onto the plane, while you, Steve, and I are taking off our buckles and belts and suspenders and shoes and socks, and we're waiting in a long line to get past that same point. That's not acceptable.
Oh.
I think you're right. Trump is he's trying to put him on planes now. It's unbelievable. Trump had no plan for his zero tolerance idea that Stephen Miller put together, this Ashkenazi working for Trump. It's just unreal. Now we have reports that Salvadorian migrants are killed in a Texas vehicle crash. It's just, he's not handling the border crisis that he himself is creating. Trump is showing his true incompetence now as things kind of foment out of control. 6 migrants from El Salvador were killed in Texas when their SUV crashed, officials said Wednesday.
Apparently everything started around 10 o'clock last night. It was a pursuit out of Robstown. It came out County Road 40, east of town. The vehicle turned onto a turn row in between Cotton and Grain, and the police unit terminated the pursuit because everything was wet, and didn't know anything else about anything until about 4 o'clock this morning. We got a call of a couple guys walking down the road with injuries. Deputies arrived and talked to them. They said they were in a wreck. Showed them where it was, and that's where we found the scene. With we've got 6 deceased bodies. 5 were injured pretty severely, taken to the local hospitals.
So 6 dead, 5 severely critically injured in this flip over in a high-speed chase due to Donald Trump's zero tolerance policy. Okay. And no fence. Thanks, Donald, for stealing my idea and not implementing a simple plan to build a container fence. This idea is out there. We talked about it in our room. People in our room shared the idea that containers might be useful for fencing. I globbed onto it. I said, yeah, this would be perfect for the fence. 2 containers high. 1,000 miles would cost under $1 billion just to buy the containers and put them there. And they're just looking for a better life, these people, yeah. Without the barrier, we have to answer to that question. Why are they coming to America? The barrier, it kind of nullifies the question. We know why they're coming to America, but they can't get in. You can't carry Gatling guns anywhere without a permit, Joe. Yeah, there's strict laws against automatic weapons. No wonder they stopped you. Yeah, you can't carry Gatling guns on board planes. Nice try there, though, buddy. All right. Okay, we're going to take a look here at Trump over London. Somebody gave him a one-finger salute. Watch this. And, it's weird. His entire entourage were flying in circles for a while. This is from Galveston 318.
One finger salute! Fuck off!
That's really rude. Well, the people are expressing themselves. The president is leaving, circling London. People were not exactly happy with him there. I'm sure the Queen just tolerated him. Our stock market really liked his arrival. And for the past 4 days, we've had banner days. Today was no different. It went up 263 points. So the whole week was a banner success for Trump and the stock market. A meeting with the UK has been very, very good for business. And talk of potential trade with the United Kingdom has been a big, big boom for our stock market. So there you have it. Up, up, and away, my beautiful. So it's nearly breaching the 26,000 mark again, making big comebacks, nearly 1,000 points back up. Actually, yeah. All right. I can't do any one-arm push-ups, no. I have a weak shoulder on one side. I dislocated an arm 1 year. Not full disconnect, but partial dislocation. Yeah, I still work out, but I would have to probably work up to a one-arm push-up. It would take a long, long time. And why put myself through that? You know, once you've affected the yolk sac in your shoulder, you know, what's the point? That yolk sac is, once it's breached, is never quite the same. Rocket Man burning down the... I'm just trying to see what we have here. A new surveillance tool is coming to the skies. Let's do that. An Arizona company developed a new type of high-altitude, long-range surveillance platform, just completed a 16-day mission with massive balloons floating over 4 western U.S. states. So apparently they're going to use balloons as surveillance tools for watching the skies above us. Satellites are more expensive. Balloons might be able to stay in a certain trajectory, and they may be able to get video from it. Interesting. Well, I don't want to waste your time talking about something that may or may not work. And we talked about this on Technology Thursday. This cool new, cool yet terrifying commercial is being played for Boston Dynamics, where they're going to sell these products to people for their home. They're going to be dogs that'll guard their house. Pretty weird, huh? Yeah, this has been in the works for some time. Boston Dynamics is going to make these available to people. I don't know what the set cost on these things will be, but it's definitely going to be arriving. Yeah, so breaking into a house, you may encounter a computerized robotic guard dog. Who knows what it'll have on it? Laser beam pinchers? You gotta wonder. 2 former Republican lawmakers are found shot dead at home, and yeah, let's see what we got here. Whew, that's weird. Zero Hedge. 2 former Republican lawmakers found shot dead at home in the same week. Wow. State senators were found dead in their homes this week. First, former Arkansas State Senator Linda Collins Smith, 57, was found shot dead in her home several days after neighbors reported hearing gunshots. And her death is being reported as a homicide. Wow. The remains were found outside Collins Smith's home in Pocahontas, and authorities were unable to identify the remains until they were studied by a state crime lab. So somebody shot her so many times she couldn't be identified. The state police said in a statement the agency received confirmation the remains were Collins Smith Thursday morning. And today we learned the ultimate untimely death of former Senator Linda Collins Smith, who's a passionate voice for people. And then another one, the second GOP lawmaker found dead this week as Oklahoma State Senator Jonathan Nichols. Hi, Sarah. Unlock it? Yeah, sure. Okay. Wow. Well, this is weird. Yeah, Jonathan Nichols is found dead in Norman, Oklahoma home on Wednesday, and a gun was found across the room on a table, according to the Oklahoman. That is really weird. Law enforcement sources reported the police responded to a report of an individual with a gunshot wound around 8:40 p.m. They found the 53-year-old Nichols deceased. He represented Norman in the Oklahoma Senate from 2000 to 2012 and had been a senior policy advisor to House Speaker Charles McCall at the time of his death. There's no indication that the two deaths are related. I don't know. It's kind of strange. I'm going to have to check that. I know some people in Oklahoma who live near a congressman. I wonder if that's him. Yeah. I'll have to make a phone call and find out. Was a guy found shot to death in your house next door to you? A woman was attacked? Okay. Well, these stories just are kind of like, you know, the endless hardship. A couple says that they were attacked after refusing to kiss on a London bus. That's weird. Melania Galmona and Rihanna, flight attendant from Uruguay, was on a date with her girlfriend, US-born Chris, in London last week. The two were going to Chris's flat when they say a gang of men confronted them. Melania wrote a Facebook post describing what happened. Hooligans demanded that we kiss so they could enjoy watching, calling us lesbians and describing sexual things. The men began throwing coins at the women when Chris approached them. On impulse, I went over there and only to find her face bleeding and three of them beating her up. The next thing I know, I'm being punched. Oh my God. When Melania came to the bus, it stopped and police were on board. Melania said that their belongings were stolen. She had been unable to return to work due to their injuries, which included a suspected broken nose. Isn't that terrible? Two lesbian women it's a hate crime against lesbians. You were living in Manchester, 200 miles north of London? Really? Okay. We don't know, Kevin. All I know is that it could have happened. Let's just put that in the category that it looks like it could have happened. All right? Okay, thanks, Petoro, for that link of what could have happened. Yeah, we're trying to get some translations here from one of our Chinese viewers. People. Okay, something about people. All right, I think that's established. We can move on. Yes, Nichols. In his house in Norman, Oklahoma. That's exactly where this guy lives. Yeah, I'll have to find out. That's a very interesting story. 26 key Democratic Party demographics. We were looking at the Democrats seem to have the lead in the upcoming election based on some pretty basic facts. More Asians are Democratic, more blacks are Democratic, more Hispanics are Democratic by far. 80% of black African Americans say they're Democratic. 65% of Asians say they are Democratic. 61% Jewish people support Democrats. Women with postgraduate degrees support the Democratic Party. So the Democrats have a lot of votes coming, assuming they can do something. But if they don't pursue impeachment, they could lose those votes. Yeah. I support impeachment, as you know. Even if it's just in the House, like they did with Bill Clinton. The Republican-led House impeached him, but not the Senate. We need to make a statement, and the Democrats need to get their ducks in line if they're going to do that. Hey, that Swiss chard.
The size of that Swiss chard.
Yeah, I'll cook that up tonight. Want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. Swiss chard, looking good.
Those are giant, aren't they? There's more than that. These are just the biggest leaves.
How do I read text?
They're as big as David's head. That's a big leaf.
Prepared Angel, you said ROFL, someone should shove his face into the screen, please. What is that a text you want me to read? Yeah. You live in Norman, you're familiar with the case. The judge in Arkansas has sealed the file on her murder. Wow. So she was in Norman too. Okay. So why would the judge seal the file? Thank you for coming into the show and telling me about, the sealed file. It doesn't make any sense. Why do you think they did it? You live in Norman, you know. Very strange. They both were working on an investigation against Hillary? Wow. No kidding. Wow. Thank you very much for sharing that information. Folks, those two people were investigating a $27 million fraud case against Hillary Clinton, and now they're dead from gunshots. So that would make both of those Oklahoma Republicans number 130, I think it's up to 140 now. Yeah. That would be the 140th person on the Clinton body count. Smith was in Arkansas, Nichols in Norman. Okay, so Smith was in Arkansas, Nichols was in Norman. Thanks for telling me about that, Prepared Angel. Yeah, and thanks for getting my attention in the show. Yeah, sealed the case. That's weird. Everyone knows not to investigate the Clintons. Well, apparently they didn't. They didn't get the memo. The fact that the Clintons are still getting cover from Donald Trump makes you wonder, is Donald Trump part of the deep state? And Republicans say, no, Donald Trump is trying to stop the deep state. No, he hasn't prosecuted Hillary on anything. He won't even go after Elizabeth Warren when we found out she committed perjury when she claimed she was Cherokee Indian. He still won't even prosecute her. And he won't prosecute Ilhan Omar for marrying her brother. What's going on with Trump? Why is he so deep state and doing what the New World Order wants? They simply want to keep these people in play. Yeah, they see them as actors in a big kabuki drama where we all hate each other. I know. When has Trump not called Nancy Pelosi a vindictive, hateful person? I mean,
I think
like
she's
old
a
news.
disgrace. I actually don't think she's a talented person. I've tried to be nice to her because I would have liked to have gotten some deals done. She's incapable of doing deals. She's a nasty, vindictive, horrible person.
Ahead of his D-Day speech in Normandy, France on Thursday, Donald Trump sat down with Laura Ingraham, where he responded to reports that Nancy Pelosi said she'd rather see him in prison than see him impeached. And besides just throwing shade Pelosi's way, as usual, Trump also went after her congressional district.
Ask Nancy, why is her district a drug needles all over the place? It's the most disgusting thing, what she's allowed to happen to her district, with needles, with drug addicts, with people living in the middle of the street.
And naturally, since Trump already had Pelosi on his mind, he just couldn't resist taking a shot at old Chuck Schumer, too.
We have Pelosi, we have crying Chuck Schumer, who's a disaster, by the way. He's a total political, jerk.
Thanks. Well, yeah, that's typical of Trump. He's going to hate on everybody because he loves himself. Right, you were told Kevin says he was told in 2015 from a pro-U.S. CIA informant that Trump is owned by Netanyahu in Israel. Well, that would be explained why he has such close ties with Russian oligarchs, because they too are working hand in hand with oligarchs connected to Israel. It's a big, huge club, the Zionist club worldwide. Okay. Agreement to avoid tariffs reached, says Trump. Okay, so I guess Trump is going to put together a plan for them to buy agricultural products. If Mexico buys billions of dollars worth of agricultural products, he's going to relax the tariff idea. Okay, Mexico's agreed to make unprecedented steps to help stem the flow of migrants in order to avoid tariffs. Okay, Trump revealed that a deal had been reached to suspend the tariffs indefinitely. He had threatened to import duties of 5%, very unpopular. And the deal also confirmed a tweet by Mexico's Foreign Secretary Marcelo Ebrard. Okay, good. Well, we don't have to worry about the avocados going up in price. That's great. Thank you. Well, we got them to the talking stage where they're going to buy agricultural products, supposedly. Let's see if that happens. So, yeah, two politicians have been found dead recently. Republicans in Oklahoma and in Florida, or in Arkansas. And somebody just told me that they were investigating Hillary. It's like, wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Okay. I'll copy that, Prepared Angel. Thanks for bringing that information into the room. Yeah. A lot of your chat I just keep for recorded memory to remember the whole thing by. Okay, Sarah's going to give you a little time. I'm going to go start cooking some Swiss chard. Beautiful Swiss chard. Thank you.
I also took the locks out of the freezer and thawed them out today.
Oh, the lox. Good. Yeah.
They're in the refrigerator right now.
We have lox from the bagels. Lox and bagels.
Salmon, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll cook those with some salmon. Okay.
Or do the salmon on the side.
Salmon on the side and lox, like, put them on toast or something?
Yeah, usually. I'll take care of it.
Lox and cream cheese. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's usually cream cheese and lox on a bagel, but yeah.
Yeah, toast.
But I'm sure they'd be good on crackers too. I don't know why the L is silent in salmon. It's kind of like, why is the L's in quesadilla sound like Y's? Well, that's because it's a Spanish word. Hello, NYPD1. You made me laugh earlier with your comments about researching the Clintons. Anyway, today is, it's pretty cool. Did you guys see the size of those Swiss Charlies? I have like lettuce that's big. I have like these lettuce heads that are as big as my head. I think that's why they call it a head of lettuce, because really they can get to be that big. They're amazing. You want to discuss differential equations? I should probably learn differential equations if I want to do something other than teach. A side view of my forehead. Is that good? Hello, inventor Jim Genius. All right. Aphids got your lettuce this year. I do have some earwigs in the bottom base of my lettuce. No, Kevin, I'm not done until the 20th. June 20th. So, but at least at least I don't have to come back until August 26th, I think it is. Seven and 7 dust for earwigs. At least they're not in the top of my lettuce. They're just in the bottom of it. I have to use, it's almost like organically grown. Well, it is organically. Well, it's non-spray. I don't know. We don't use any chemicals at all at the school. I have like used a little mild dishwashing. So when I had aphids, and then I went and bought, so online you can buy live ladybugs, and because aphids were attacking my Brussels sprout plants last year. Oh, good to know. The earth is supposed to be good. Good to know too. And today I just pulled up, hopefully they didn't cross-pollinate. I don't think so because they weren't close to each other. But I have seeds for Brussels sprouts and seeds for broccoli. And I'm hoping they didn't cross-pollinate. But they were in different beds. But, you know, bees could do that. Anyway. Do I ever wear summer clothing? Here, I'll take this off. This looks like summer. I prefer long sleeve cotton. Well, I live in the Pacific Northwest where it basically doesn't feel like summer. Most of the time. Anyway, I live in the Pacific Northwest, so today it was like, I don't know, maybe 70 out, I guess. I guess it was a little, but it was just like it was raining this morning because they're like, oh, are we gonna have indoor recess? But by lunch time, it cleared up and it was just like perfectly. It actually rained, and then by lunch it was clear, so it's like perfect gardening weather. Pirate! I did not know that, Kevin. Well, that makes sense, Kevin Nash. And I think that it should not, that could be used instead of a time wasting. It could be like, we could actually work with industry to educate kids on necessary skills that industry needs. But other than that, if you just need a basic education, I think 8th grade is pretty good. I know people that at first had an 8th grade graduation for most of their adult lives and only went back to school to get a GED later in life. And I mean, I don't think they were really hampered. But the education I give is very important. I took students that didn't know how to read that they can read. They can all read now. Actually, it's pretty cool. And then others that didn't know how to read, and they're like zooming, reading really well. But really, I mean, I would say what they expect of 8th graders today is almost what they expected of high schoolers a few years ago. Because you're going to have to go out and start asking women out then, Pirate. No. None. At least not this year. Up in our area, we live in a Navy town, so there is a lot of, sometimes there's turnover, and there's a lot of, my friend lives in a town where there's a lot of migrant workers. But we have a lot of, I would say we have a lot of people from the Philippines in our community. Hello, 241. Oh, wait. I didn't see David's Y chat. Yeah, I've had some amazing Filipino, like, room moms in a way that made me some great dinners. Hello, David. Greetings from the Ukraine. Hello, Ilya. Well, sorry. In the Navy, there's Filipino cooks and barbers. My left eye is like a replicant. I did have lazy eye when I was a kid in both my eyes, so sometimes I didn't do all my eye exercises, so sometimes it wants to do that again. Okay, there. Nice visiting you too. Bye, Inventor Jim Genius. Sorry. You had a turtle as a friend? Oh, that was pretty funny, NYPD one. Aw, snap! Like a snapping turtle? I remember I caught a snapping turtle once when I was a kid. It was when I was in the South. Down in the South they have more reptiles. They don't have too many reptiles up here, which I'm really thankful about that. The only reptiles I hear they have frogs and things, and they also have garter snakes sometimes up here. Yes, that's what the plan is, a spade. Exactly right. Yeah. I wish I took calculus. Part of me wants to go back to school just to take calculus. Okay, good to know, Mad Dog. I don't think anything makes you one way or another. I think that's a choice. I mean, how does it make you that way? It makes you think about, that might be a good idea. Like that. It's funny how it all happens. Really? Now I'll probably will watch it. But not with David. I'll tell him that he's not that way. I didn't even solve the problem the other day that someone put in the room about 12 question mark. No, 18 question mark, 12 question mark, 4 question mark, 5 equals 59. I was thinking 49 for some reason. There's a game that turns them gay. They said it's a pretty simple one. You have to figure out all the question marks. But, or not simple, but and it's just some kind of operations. Yes, I remember you told me about the Frankfurt School and partial differential equations. I still have not had time to... Well, I haven't made it a priority. Let's say that. I haven't made studying partial differential equations a priority. It's kind of like coding them myself. I like the thought of it, the thought of doing it, but actually doing it, a little bit different. Thank you. I like you because you must be intelligent if you can solve partial differential equations. I like the thought of it because it does... I never took a physics class either. I think I would really enjoy that. And I do like the idea of calculus. I love the idea that calculus, well, not just calculus, all math is a way to explain everything that's happening around us using a pretty simple language. Actually, yeah. I love the idea of math. I love data too. I love schedules and figuring out all those kinds of things. Anyway, moving on. Might still do that. I am wearing jeans. They happen to be white jeans. One of my favorite pairs of pants. My white jeans. I know, but funny that I'm wearing black socks with my white jeans. Okay. I think my belly button was cuter before I pierced it. That would be my advice of anybody thinking of piercing their belly button. Don't do it if you have a cute belly button. They'll ruin it. I haven't any belly button and it was like a perfect teardrop. That's how it was. But then I pierced it. And then it didn't even the piercing, my idea was it would line up perfectly with the top of my belly button. But if you don't have someone who's fastidious, anyway, it's okay. I have never painted my toenails, no. Or if I have, I only did that when I was a teenager. Has. Present tense. Never removed it. Red nemesis. I have pierced ears too, but I never wear earrings. Well, the piercing doesn't always have to be permanent bangolitis. In fact, I had to have my ears pierced twice because I didn't wear earrings so much that the original time I had my ears pierced, it sealed shut. I don't know that either. That just sounds weird. The pain? No, it was like having, well, if you've ever had your ears pierced, it was like having 2 ear piercings just at one time. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, I have a good life. You had ears pierced all the way up and down your ears. I don't. Like I said, I every once in a while, if I feel like dressing up, I'll put in some earrings and put on some eye makeup, but most of the time now, I don't even wear makeup. Yes, I know, Bangolitis. It's just weird. They used to do, it was a thing back in the 90s. So my thing with math was just thinking about how I have a good math question. It's not as advanced as partial differential equations, but 2 good math questions. Well, one is not really a question. It's more like, oh, yeah, duh. I was thinking about how to visually represent dividing a fraction by a fraction the other day. And that was pretty cool to think about. And to realize how to do it. Then the other question I had, which I just completely disagree with the person that asked it, or that was saying it. What about, well, here's the question was, how could you have when in real life would you do like a division of a negative number by a negative number? Like we know that a negative divided by a negative is a positive, but when does that, you know how I love math because it represents real life. But how do you deal, you had your lips pierced too. I couldn't do that. When is it like, what would be a situation in real life where you divide a negative number by a negative number? I was thinking 12 submarines were in the water. And they all dove in groups of 3. No, that's a negative divided by a positive. What's a negative grouping? Well, and to me, I said the thing is with a negative number or the subtraction sign, you should think of the subtraction sign as a negative number. Subtraction and negative numbers, it's the same. I'm teaching my 2nd grade. I've already taught my 2nd graders about negative numbers. You'll like this. It used to drive me crazy when I would teach 3rd, 4th, 5th grade and higher grades. And the kids would say, and I'd have them doing subtraction with ungrouping. And they would say like 203 minus 78. And they would say, well, 3 minus 8. Well, you can't do that. And I would say, actually, you can do that. You just end up with a negative number. You end up with -5 because that is the coolest. I love this way of subtracting. I was thinking I might make a journal or make something with all my favorite things for math. So now my students, when they do ungrouping, they say 3 minus 8 is -5, so I should probably ungroup. That's how my students say it. I love it. I just love that. Oh. Math makes you sad? Oh, I'm sorry. Math makes me happy. Yes, I have seen hair implants. I almost dated a guy that had hair implants. Glad I didn't. I suppose she's right about a negative divided by a negative. Yeah, they do look pretty painful. Well, they make your hair look like doll hair. I don't know if you've ever looked at a doll, but the dolls have like little 5, 6 strands coming out of one spot, and then 5 or 6 strands coming out of another spot. And they do the hair implants. That's exactly how they look. It looks amazing. You would never do it after. I mean, you only notice that close up. Otherwise, it looks like a normal hair. Not yet, Eric. We need your help. For 2020. For 2020. All right. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I'll finally go on summer break when the first day of summer. That will be good. You're just gonna buy a wig. Oh, that reminds me, I need to find my wig or ask David for a wig to borrow for next week. Your negative math, get rid of Trump, add David. There you go. Justice Ginsburg is warning the court may be sharply divided over some cases ahead. And the Trump administration told the U.S. embassies they can't fly rainbow pride flags from U.S. embassies. CDC Director Robert Redfield is now telling Congress prepare for Ebola to spread internationally. Hello, Maxed Out Credits. I'm well. Nice to see you again. A mythical form of space propulsion finally gets a real test. Oh, I like this. David and I would both like this. No, same microphone. Maybe I'm just sitting closer to it. This family home is two tiny houses connected by a big sunroom. Yeah, David and I could totally do something like that. Clear sounds. That's good. This is a courtyard house, a house in which the main rooms surround a secret open space. The Ohana. A Viva Collective. Two tiny homes, each on a 24 by 8 foot trailer with a spacious sunroom in between them. Each side comprises 176 square feet of usable space. Then the sunroom adds another 247 square feet. 600 square feet of usable space. Wow. Designed for a family of 4. Yeah, exactly. Like a private family trailer park. Yeah, your girlfriend can live on one side, you can live on the other. That's true. It was designed for a young family of 4, originally from Hawaii, living outside of Portland, Oregon. They found they really missed the tropical climate and all it affords, so their request is create a home where they could enjoy the outdoors year-round. This is weird. Oh, these are slideshows. I don't necessarily want to see those. The sunroom was designed as a communal space for the family to enjoy together, while the parents and the children's bedrooms are located in separate trailers. This separation allows for some semblance of privacy while still enjoying the fruits of going tiny. The right trailer holds the living room and also 2 bedrooms, one on top of the other for the kids. And there's storage under the stairs and windows all around to let light in. Left trailer is home to a charming and romantic master bedroom with the kids on the other side of the sunroom. There's a lot more privacy for the adults than the usual family in a tiny home situation. There's a trundle bed tucked beneath the queen. So the kids can come in if there's a nightmare or something. Also has a kitchen with a refrigerator, small stove. Oh, I'll show you guys some pictures. Here's the side for the kids. And then the master bedroom on the other side with the kitchen. The bathroom's off the hallway between the kitchen and master bedroom. The extra space of the double tiny house allows for a bathtub. Wow. Amazing. Look at the tile work. I can't believe that's tile work. Exactly, Eric. Maybe they painted it. Yeah, they must have painted it. Anyway. That's tile. Here's a floor plan. So, queen bed, trundle, bathroom, full tub, kitchen with a refrigerator, storage up above. Then here's their sunroom. And then stairs that go to a loft, 2 bedrooms over here. That's really good because it's like completely opposite of the house for the bedrooms. And then the floor plan. Ohana means family in Hawaiian. They hosted a get-together for 50 people. Okay. For more information how to purchase it, you can go to Viva Collective. That dog wants to know how much it costs. He thinks all that glass, Eric says all that glass is going to be more money. Viva Collective, and one of Dwell Magazine's top 12 tiny home companies of the year. Tiny homes, restaurants. Tiny homes going to be huge. Here's a Ohana. I like the rocker. Wow, I like their work. The Fairchild. This is the future, the prime time, the studio, the Hoppa, the ballad, the spa, the statesman. Ooh, that would be cute. You're thinking about getting this for camping, a portable shelter. Eskimo Quick Fish Ice Fishing Series, 4 to 6 person. Insulated, I take it? It's pretty interesting, Huang. The Gem, the showroom. Mon Petit Rive, the modern, the mountain retreat. Victorian, a stable, the cabin, the chalet, the modern chalet, the schooner, the triathlete, the big country, the barn, the gothic. Ooh, I kind of like the gothic. Wow. The backpacker, the pioneer, the plane, the funk, the garage, cottage, the Cape Cod, the veteran 1, veteran 2, Lumi Shack, and Maryland's double. Ooh, the Maryland double looks nice too.
I like that, yeah.
Well, you like this. You would love, and I love this one. Wait, I'm going up.
We're doing tiny houses tonight.
Well, I just,
Container
you know,
buildings. Yeah, those are cool.
this one, the Ohana. Let's see how much it costs.
I'm gonna guess 85,000. It's
It just
ridiculous.
says, where's the picture? Oh, here's all the pictures, but where's the price? Why doesn't it just give you a price?
Well, let's suffice to say these are not cheap. Now tiny houses are expensive.
Yeah, suffice it to say, David's right.
Hey, Maxed Out Credit, where have you been, man?
He wasn't feeling well and he didn't want to.
Oh, okay.
But he's feeling better now.
good. Well, that's good to hear.
He's been sick.
We normally have our pro cams on, and since we don't have pro cams, I'm just going to not put them on. So let's just not do pro cams for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Eric. A travel trailer is just as well as a tiny house.
Oh yeah. In fact, you could get a nice travel trailer for $15,000 or less. That's a good point. Okay, I put that on toast with the lox that you said with cream cheese, and I also have a whole dinner for you in the back.
Oh, thank you.
Here's your sweater.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah.
I finished the toast. The lox are a little too salty for me, but yeah. ASMR teen Life with Mac is quitting YouTube because her videos keep getting removed for being inappropriate. Wow. And people really like this ASMR stuff. It feels like you're listening to somebody close to you. You know, for some people who are incels, it's pretty hard to have a life, let alone get close to a person. Oh, it's a kid? Yeah. We don't do kids on our show. Yeah. No, I'm not Jewish, but lox, we picked up some lox, and I froze them for about 3 years. So Sarah defrosted them and said, let's try them. And they're good. Yeah, it's pretty good. And thanks for that, Ivan. And then you got something else too, Ivan. U.S. Russia blame each other in a near collision of warships. USS Chancellorsville, Admiral Vinogradov. No kidding. Well, here we go.
Get new floors during Empire Today's gigantic.
Don't get new floors necessarily. All right. Well, it looks like we've got a situation on our hands. Let's take a look. Here they go. No audio? Well, here's a near collision right there, and the Russian is nearly going to hit the U.S. carrier. They're both going at the same location, running parallel. Can you believe this? They're running parallel. They're purposely pissing each other off. And we have no audio. But we do have video of maybe close collision. This is ridiculous. This is no reason to have a problem with the American fleet. Give me a break. I think that Putin must have said that we must act tougher in the middle of the ocean or something. Yeah.
Introducing.
Okay, well, thanks for that close call. I hope everything works out. I hope Trump and his good relationship with Vladimir Putin, as in, connected at the hip, bosom buddy, butt buddy. I'm sorry, bosom buddy is better. Yeah. I'm going to assume that that's a better word. It's more like, oh, you are so good at Mr. Trump. Well, Vladimir, I can't even do Donald Trump being nice to Vladimir because I haven't even heard their phone calls. 7.5 hours have been private, no transcripts whatsoever. You can imagine what they were saying. Donald, you must do exactly as we say. You must follow directions precisely, or we will reveal sex tape of you and also turn all of your loans over to Deutsche Bank. Oh, don't do that. No. I've been very good to Vladimir. I've been very good. I'll do whatever you say. Tell me what to do. Where should I move my troops in Venezuela? So apparently, Donald and Vladimir, this may actually help the two countries having Russia control a Donald like they do. Well, let's see let's play this out. What do you say, huh? Now that America is in the clutches of the Russian political machine. Yeah, let's see what happens. Gosh, Nancy Pelosi's not too worried about it. After all, she's a Zionist too. And so is Donald Trump, so is Joe Biden. And, of course, we've seen Joe Biden with the kids. We saw quite a few pictures of him yesterday. I don't really think I need to repeat the Biden project, do I? That's always a good go-to, though, in the show. We've got a couple good go-tos. Donald Trump's heavy breathing.